How you doing, everybody? Shelton Fitness Specialist Kelly Brown, and today I'm back with a sad note. But I actually tore my bicep a couple weeks ago, and I'm going in for surgery this morning. Okay, so it's been looks like a little distal tear, so like tore it off the bone kind of thing, but it's not really that bad. Um, I wasn't touching anything when it happened. I just happened to be doing some little small reach. Next thing I know, boom! I start hearing something sound like cloth tearing apart, or something like that. And so it's 7 in the morning now. I'm about to head to the hospital. Got the surgery scheduled. I should be in and out in like 45 minutes to an hour. I'll show you a picture of what my arm kind of looks like though too, so you can see. So it's this right here. You can kind of see how like I got that kind of like little twist thing in it, that little cuff in it. That's right where the tear is. And if you compare it to my other arm, you can see that there's nothing happening here. You see, man? Like, so it's just a small area. It's not like the whole thing tore off and like that, but it's enough to still require surgery. So I'm heading there now, and I'll give you guys an update on what ends up happening. Alright. Okay, so now I'm in surgery. It's time to get started. The nurse said that I gotta wipe my body down with some wash rags, just to prepare myself when the doctor comes in here. Sir, it's what time is it now? Like 9, 10 o'clock. It just turned 10 o'clock. So I should be done out of here by like 12, something like that. And yeah, let's get it going. So they're gonna put me under anesthesia, local anesthesia, sign on my paperwork. That's pretty much it. It's a fast surgery. Nobody seems to be nervous about it. Nobody seems to be scared. They did say that what they're gonna do is drill screws in my arms to reconnect the tendon from my bicep. So that part is a little scary. My main concern was that I still look the same when I'm done. And so they said that I'll probably still have the same function and appearance back in the arm once it's finished. So I don't have to stress too hard about my arm looking deformed for the rest of my life or anything like that. So I'll be okay. But aside from that though, that's everything. Dirty. Okay, so I'm fully dressed now. I got my gown on. I wipe myself down. Ain't nothing to be nervous about. My blood pressure was low, so I'm not tripping. Everything was good. I didn't eat, so I'm not gonna doodle on myself, nothing like that. Hopefully I don't throw up when they put me under. But yeah, I'm good. That's it. So it's the weirdest thing, cause like I've never torn a muscle before, and I've never torn it to the point where I need to get surgery. So even while I'm in here, the nurses and stuff, they're like, well, "What happened? What were you doing?" And everybody's like, "Well, you lifting weights," and I'm like, "No, I wasn't lifting." But today, the anesthesia guy, he said that potentially what could have happened was maybe I was lifting previously, and my body hadn't recovered yet or something like that, and then maybe I didn't stretch, or maybe my tissues were still tight, and what could have happened was just that it just wasn't my day, and I moved some type of way, and that's how you tear muscles like that. And that's probably what happened, because I did work my back the week before in my biceps, but it wasn't to the point where I was like trying to kill myself and I was really beating myself down. But maybe that combined with the fact that I was like out in the heat every day when I was working, and whatever is what probably caused the tear. Now it didn't do, like I said earlier, it didn't do a full crazy tear where like I was lifting something and then boom, I heard a loud pop. This one was like it sounded almost like somebody was tearing clothes apart, like tearing your shirt off or something like that. And it just happened. So I went to the hospital. As soon as it happened, I was in Indiana. And they told me there was nothing wrong with it in Indiana. They said, it's gonna recover on its own. I didn't trust it. I went and got a second opinion when I got back home. And the doctors here were like, okay, let's do an MRI, blah, blah, blah. And they was like, yeah, you know what? You are going to need surgery. So, set up the surgery, and today's the day. So it'll go all right. I'm not tripping on it. I had insurance. Had to pay a little bit more on top of the insurance from what they don't pay for. But, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. And so you guys just got to prepare for things like this to happen, unforeseen circumstances. But I'll be alright. I'll be back in the gym in a few days. I'll be back working. And a couple months from now, this will just be a figment of my imagination, and I won't even remember it. Hopefully, this doesn't happen again. And hopefully my bicep is just as strong as it was before, so I can get back doing my pull-ups and all my other miscellaneous things. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Keep y'all posted.
Sometimes that catches it. Alright, so. That okay? Okay. Alright, go ahead and pump, okay? The veins nice and full. Your hands are a little cool. Are you nervous?
No, it's cold.
No, it's cold.
It is cold in here. I'm glad it's just not me.
No, it's freezing in here.
The end of my nose is getting cold. 8, 26, 19, at 10. No medications. And what's our consent is repair a ruptured biceps of the left arm.
How you doing, everybody? It's your health and fitness specialist, Kelly Brown, and today I'm back with a bad video. So let me tell you how it all started. So I got sent to Indiana to go do some work, right? Getting on roofs, getting off roofs, inspecting them like I normally do. I'm up there, everything's good. Week goes by, I'm good. 2 weeks go by, I'm good. I'm getting ready to start the third week. This is Sunday, August 11th. And so I go out in the morning. I do my first house, second house. I only got 3 houses for the day on a Sunday, right? 1 in the morning, knock that one out. Head to my second house. I finish that roof. As I'm getting off of the roof, I'm reaching out for my ladder just like this. All I hear is sound like somebody tearing the shirt off of you or something like that, right? And so I'm like, what in the world? Because I hadn't touched anything. So I'm like, automatically in my mind, man, I just must have tore my bicep or something, but I couldn't figure it out because it wasn't, I wasn't doing anything particular in that motion. I wasn't pulling on something or hanging on something or, pulling my body up or anything like that. I was just reaching out. So anyway, I drove straight to the emergency room in Indiana, and I get there. They're like, "Oh no, nothing's wrong. We're looking at it. The way it happened is it got torn from the top, and it's a proximal tear, and you're not gonna need any surgery. There's nothing we can do about that. Just give it a couple days, it'll recover." So I'm like, all right, good. I don't have to worry about nothing. So I'm in the car, and I'm on Google, and I'm like, how long does it take for a proximal tear to recover? And it starts breaking down the difference between proximal and distal, right? Distal tears towards the bottom, proximal tears towards your top on your shoulder. So it's giving me all the symptoms that I have listed under the distal tear. And I'm like, well, the lady just, the nurse just told me that I had a proximal tear. So if she's saying proximal tears, I don't need any surgery, but all the symptoms of a distal tear of what I have, and I don't have any of the symptoms of a proximal tear because my tear happened where my elbow is in the crease, not towards the top, right? I'm like, maybe I need to go get a second opinion. So I finished working for the rest of the day because it didn't really hurt. It kind of just was like, discomfort, and I think I was more scared in my head. It didn't really swell up or anything. It didn't turn blue. Like, none of that stuff happened. It wasn't even really painful. The only thing that I couldn't do was straighten my arm all the way out. So it was kind of like I could stay this far, and then once I got like right here, it would hurt. So I'm like, okay, I can still function. I go to CVS, get an ACE bandage or something like that. keep on rolling. I call my manager. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna leave on Thursday afternoon so I can go to my doctor back home in Georgia. He's like, all right, cool, right? So I finished work. The rest of the week, uh, coincidentally, happened to be pretty light. Like I was only doing like 4 houses a day, and that was my whole week. So it was nothing hard. I didn't have to really use my arm for anything crazy or nothing like that. So, which was kind of weird. I was thinking I would end up, going hard for that final week, but I ain't have to. So that was cool. Got back home, went to the doctor. My first doctor was like, okay, we got to send you in we got to refer you so that you can go to an orthopedic specialist. Then at the orthopedic, they can give you an MRI, X, Y, and Z. MRI comes back, they're like, well, we can't really tell how it's torn. It doesn't look like it's torn where you're saying it is, but it's giving us the symptoms, and you don't have the mobility that, which says that all of those symptoms mean that it's actually torn, but we can't see it on the MRI. So they refer me to another doctor who says, he checks out my MRIs and he looks at him. He says, yeah, it's torn. He's like, so we got to do surgery on it. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, whatever, just fix me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of being like figured out and trying to understand what actually happened. Like, go ahead and just fix me. So this is a Friday. They scheduled my surgery for Monday, and just this past Monday, I had surgery. They went in there. As far as I know, everything went good. Afterwards, the doctor was he left. So, and of course, I was under anesthesia, so he didn't really give me a report or any details on what was going to happen and stuff like that, and like how to take care of it. He kind of just gave me like a little small sheet with basic stuff that was like, keep it wrapped. Take this medicine, 3 times a day for this many days, and then come see him back. I got to go see him next Wednesday. So the first thing, I've never had any type of surgery before. I've never been put under a knife, so this was crazy for me. The second thing is, how does something like this happen to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when I'm not doing anything. There's been all these years where I was doing wild stuff and, jumping around and pulling myself up and doing muscle ups and crazy stuff like that, and doing kung fu and fighting and all types of weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? Basketball and playing football, and nothing's ever happened to me. And now one day, when all I'm doing is reaching my arm out, boom, I tear a whole bicep. You know what I'm saying? So it's the weirdest thing. I guess it just happens like that, So that was bothering me. The medicine that I'm on, he got me on 800 milligrams of ibuprofen 3 times a day. The first day, when I got back from the hospital, I don't know if they had me on ibuprofen already, but I didn't take any medicine the first day because it wasn't really hurting. Second day, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just, it wasn't really hurting, but I was like, I'm gonna just take it anyway, just to, stick to the doctor's orders. So I'm on ibuprofen, and I got an antibiotic for the surgery so that I don't get infected. And I also have something called Norco. I'm not taking that though. I don't even know what that is. It just sounds too advanced for me, And so the ibuprofen, I was taking it, and my stomach started hurting like crazy, and it was like I was constipated. It was like coming out like chicken nuggets, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, let me fall back on that too. Let me just chill. So I'm not really on any medicine right now. I'm gonna just do the antibiotics and forget about the ibuprofen and whatever that other thing was. I'm not even interested in that. So I figured the antibiotics right now are probably gonna mess my stomach up anyway. I'm gonna have to take a probiotic once I'm done with all these antibiotics just to balance me back out, So yeah, so that's what's happening with the medicine. I still have an appetite. The pain isn't so crazy to the point where like I can't function and I can't sleep. Like I can sleep. I don't have any issues with none of that stuff. The I'm just irritated because it slows down my process, and I was working on some things that I was really trying to get handled, but it's one of those things where maybe I needed this to kind of slow me down a little bit just so that I could start focusing on other stuff that I probably should have been doing, So even like when I got back home, right before the surgery, I was still fixing stuff around the house. Like I had to install my bathroom sink. I had to install the kitchen sink in my house. I had to install the toilet. I needed to fix the insides of the toilet. So I was still, doing stuff. But now it's like I'm that type of person that has to keep on doing stuff all the time and being on it and like, moving and doing something every 5 minutes and knocking out tasks on my list and things like that. But right now I just got to kind of sit down, So it's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like I don't have nothing to do. And so one of my managers texted me earlier today asking when I would be available. I told him at the earliest I'd be available to go back out to work by September 6th. So that's 2 weeks. I think that should give me ample time to really, recover. And then I'm gonna be in a brace, and the brace is like, it's like clamps on it, like so they don't give you a cast anymore. They give you a whole brace, so I can be in a brace and stuff. And once I'm in a brace, it locks me in at a 90-degree angle. And the extent of the work that I may have to do is just lift my arm over my head, just like this when I'm carrying my tall ladder. So at the end of the day, like I'm not concerned about going out to work like that. I just don't want to be feeling nasty in my stomach, and I don't want to, I want to be in a situation where my doctor says, as long as you're locked in this position, then what you can't hurt it anymore. So I'm just gonna talk to him on Wednesday, see what the updates are. If I don't have any pain and everything is squared away and fixed like that, then I'll head back out to work. They're getting ready to have a storm in Florida, so I'll be sent to Florida for a couple weeks. So not a big deal. Anyway, the recovery time is supposed to be, I think, 3 to 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. Total. I'll be able to get back in the gym. I'll probably be in the gym before that, working on my legs and everything I can, minus my arms. You know what I'm saying? And if I can lift my arms up, if I can do it here, I'll even do my chest, just doing some flies, some pec deck flies or something like that. But we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna lose any weight. I got on the scale this morning. I was 193. I still look the same. I'm thinking it's probably because I've trained my body so much to get to a level where I can maintain a certain weight. Like my baseline weight is like 190-ish. When I'm doing real good and I'm on, like I can get to like 205, and when I'm like really, really, really solid and I'm training for it and I'm trying to grow, I can get to about, 210, 215, 211, 212, something like that, So my thing is, I'm not even really trying to grow right now. I'm just, I was maintaining anyway. So at the end of the day, it's not like I'm gonna lose much more. I'm already at my worst, so to speak, my lowest weight. And so, I don't think I'm gonna lose any weight. I'm still eating, and once I got the muscle there anyway, I should be good. As far as the muscle memory, once I start getting back in the gym, it shouldn't be anything for me to just start busting down and growing again and getting back in shape. So, and like I said, once this week goes by right here, I'm gonna probably get back in the gym next week and just do my legs 3 times a week or something like that. Keep it simple, get in there, just keep on growing them, because that's the one thing I need to grow. And I got some courses I've been wanting to study online, so I got time to do that now. Some movies I've been wanting to catch up on. I might even play some video games or something while I'm sitting down if I can. My thumb moves, my hands move, so it's not about that. It's more just about not moving his arm. So we'll see. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it. I am. It is unfortunate that it happened to me, but it's one of those things like, well, it's done. What am I going to do now? I'm not even worried about nothing else. The one thing that I am concerned about, though, is how can I prevent it for next time, because I don't even understand how something like this happened, especially when I wasn't doing anything. I mentioned to the doctor that when I was getting off of the roof on this particular day, it was real hot, and maybe I was dehydrated or something like that, or maybe like, one of the nurses mentioned that, if you had worked out previously, like, a week or so before, and maybe those muscles fibers still hadn't fully recovered or something like that, maybe it's just a matter of time and they were just going to tear at some point anyway. Maybe something like that happened. So I really don't know. I really don't understand it. So when I see my doctor on Wednesday, I'm kind of talk to him about, preventive measures, and maybe if he wants me to wrap my joints or something like that when I'm working out next time, or how to avoid certain things. But I'm not gonna stop lifting weights and nothing like that. That's crazy. If that's what he says, he recommends me stop lifting weights, then I would just have to I'm gonna have to disobey the doctor's orders. You know what I'm saying? So, but hopefully it speeds up and I got a quick recovery, and no other problems go wrong or anything like that, and I can as long as I can type, I can still make videos, I can still do all the things I need to do, I should be alright. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I know I'm going to get a lot of, get well soons and stuff like that. So I want to thank you in advance. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And I thank you guys for all your kind comments too. They're very encouraging. It encourages me to make more videos when I see so many people giving me heartfelt comments, And so y'all keep that up. Check out my ebooks, Guidebook to Natural Bodybuilding, How to Lose Weight and Keep It Off. And I'm also thinking about working on a course for natural bodybuilding, probably something like a 90-day course to really get you in shape. And I may end up doing some type of video series so that when you get the course, you can see me demonstrating the exercises back to back to back to back. So I'm considering that. Let me know what you think of that idea, and if that's something you'd be interested in. And then, if so, give me some more elaborate thoughts on what you would like from some type of course, or what you would be able to use better, what you could use if I were to put out some type of video series for you guys. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.